Hello, welcome back to the ministry. And I have this other word for you, which is the Lord showed me through a very minuscule thing. Now, as we know, bugs are a representation of monitoring spirits, okay? They are seeking, monitoring, observing, and if the enemy can't get to you, he will use a monitoring spirit. Tiffany Montgomery has talked about this multiple times. Stephanie P has talked about this multiple times. Okay? That they're monitoring spirits. I've seen even Tiffany Montgomery go as far as saying, if you have come into my atmosphere as a monitoring spirit, I pray you do not get back to your body. Okay? She said that. Well, the other day, this happened actually twice. I never actually talked about the first time. One day there, it was unusual. Me and my father were seeing a series of flies. I swore we killed about 19 flies that day. He killed 2. Then I killed about 15 up against this window. And I said, what the heck is going on? Everywhere. And I'm like, but guess what? We killed them now, didn't we? But the other day I saw 2 to 3 just wandering around here. And I was like, what in the world is going on here? And I noticed that it usually happens after I've had a very intense prayer session with the Lord. I see them. So, but this particular day, I saw them and I couldn't catch it to kill it. I was always just right outside of my reach. And the Lord gave me this revelation through a series of actions that happened. I couldn't seem to get it together myself. But I understood something. And this is the warning to the enemy, okay? All right. So I couldn't seem to catch it. So my father, your father is about to sniff them out. How is he going to do so? So with this series of events, I couldn't capture it. I couldn't catch it. For some reason, it was just outside of my grasp. A lot of you've been attempting to kill an attack that's been coming up against you. But it seems like it's just outside of your ability to take this thing out. It's just outside of your ability to make sure this thing breaks. It's just outside of your ability. It's like, if I could it's right there. It's like that fly. You trying to just let me swat it. And it's funny because one of the ministers I follow literally calls it like this, gnats and flies. And it's like she was talking about that the other day, which further confirmation. And your enemy is within your sight. You can see them. Some of you saw them coming, just like you can see flies. You can see bugs when they flying in your air. You see it in the spirit. You even see the attack before it happens. And you go in, but for some reason, it's just outside your reach to take this thing out. And you're like, I just wore myself out trying to take that out in the spirit. Why is it not dying? But the Father, but your God. Watch what my dad did. I couldn't kill this thing. So I just let it go and I went to bed. Next morning, my father, he sees the same thing that I saw. He goes and gets this bug spray that he has. He sees them attempting to go in the cabinet. So he opens the cabinet door, which he comes to the realization they're isolated. It can't come out of there without coming past him. So he sprays in there. And I didn't even come to this revelation. He corners them. Your father has your enemies cornered, which I'm going to bring this up here. I saw a car chase the other day on television. Now go back and look at my other work, because that one is way too long to repeat on the other car chase that happened. But this was a car chase on Inside Edition, and this person was trying to elude the cops. The cops were on their tail. There were about 15 police cars, and they were slow chasing this U-Haul truck. Catch that, y'all. It's a U-Haul truck. Some of y'all get ready to move. And the U-Haul truck was trying to back away. They literally backed down the highway because they were like, I am not going to get caught by the police. But eventually they popped their wheels and they still ended up getting caught. Let me explain something to you. The enemy has been trying to steal your stuff, keep you from moving forward, and attempting to prevent you from walking into the manifestation of your destiny. But God got these fools cornered. Remember, go watch my word on the slow, this is a slow speed chase. God has them cornered. God is literally shaking their world up, disorienting them with a level of intensity, a blanketed attack. Because when my dad sprayed that spray, it blanketed the entire area. He wasn't getting out of that spray. To take it out so that they could not breathe in the atmosphere of that thing. Some of your enemies, and the Lord has been showing me that there's an enemy that's been coming up against you that literally, and when I say literally, they're losing their mind because they haven't been able to take you out. But it's going to turn around and they're going to breathe in their own attack. There's a scripture in the Bible, Isaiah 51, 22 and 23. They are going to have to drink from the cups of the dregs that they attempted to put on you. Because this is what the sovereign Lord says. So what's happening is my father ended up killing one in that instance, meaning he cornered it. And he took it out in that scenario. Secondarily, the other one thought it was getting away. Some of you got two enemies that have been consistently attacking you. One is bigger than the other. He gonna take care of that one. But the other one, the way that he has hit it is he's been in a slow speed chase, like I just said, that he slowed them down. They've been weakened and they are coming to a point that they must lay down. They are no longer going to have the energy to be able to fight you any longer, to fight him, because they ain't been fighting you, they've been fighting him. And literally, my father said to me the other day when this happened, he said, you got your shoe on? I said, no. He said, come here. And I was like, all right. And I came to him. He said, you see that? And I looked. He's like, the bug would land on the ground, couldn't barely get up. And he said, take my shoe. I took the shoe from his hand. He said, squash it. Hear me with your spiritual ears. God is handing you the weapon directly. He has already put your enemy in a level of subduedness. Some of you just got to show up to the battle. When you show up, squash. I'm thinking of the scripture in the Bible when the 4 lepers were sitting outside the gate and they were like, we can't go in there. They're going to kill us. All of this kind of stuff. When they went through the gate, what did they find? All their enemies were already dead. And they just picked up the spoils. He handed me the shoe. You got the weapon. He's going to give you the direct weapon to take your enemies out. What's her name? Prophetic Diary did a video the other day called Your Attackers Did Wrong When They Mess With You. And she was literally making this statement that God's going to give you the instruction that's going to take this thing out. He has already subdued that thing. All you got to do is squash it. Which brings me to the scripture in relation to the word, when Jesus took his foot and crushed the serpent's head. That's all. That's it. You gonna crush it. Judgment is coming to your enemies. It's over. God is taking your enemies out in this season, but he's setting them up first. Remember Pharaoh? I was just talking about this in the spirit with the Lord a minute ago. The scripture in Exodus, he set them up that they thought that they was going to let you go. And when they chased after you, some of them, which also reminded me of the scripture about Ahab, that all of the prophets were sitting up there lying. God has put a lying tongue in folks' mouths that they think that they're going to try this one last attack, which is to you going to look like a smoke screen. But this one last attack, this last attempt, because they are not going to be able to resist trying to attack you just one more time. And that's going to be their areas. God has been showing me this Peacock TV series, literally called They About to Die. I told y'all in another word that be prepared for a death. It's a wrap. They're going to try it and they're going to die. They're going to try it and that's a wrap for them. Because God is tired of these nuisances being a nuisance. And Hyru did a word about a year and a half ago talking about that. Some of them, they just waiting on God to take them out, because God is just like, I've given y'all all the chances that I can give you chances. Now I'm gonna just take you out. You can't even pray for these folks no more. It's over. They have gotten on his last nerve. I am an enemy to your enemy, an oppressor to your oppressors, and an adversary to your adversaries. He's fed up with it. And when he fed up with it, the enemies that you see today, you will see no more. It's over. It's done. And so am I. I hope you appreciated this word. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.